Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. And I apologize, I've got a cold tonight and a frog in my throat. Hopefully the frog will leave the building, but the show must go on, as they say. But as usual, I have a robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time hanging out with us tonight, I hope you have a good time with us, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be here waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. To our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you guys are the ones who make this possible, and we really, really appreciate that. So before we get started, let's take a few quick comments here, and then we'll bring our friends on and we'll get things going. BCJ Vids is in the house saying howdy. Nice to see you. Our good friend Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers is here. He says, good evening, loud and clear in Carterville, New York. Now, if you like those vintage mini bikes, those mini bikes from the 60s and 70s, second Sunday of every month, we do a mini bike podcast right here where you're watching this. So be sure and tune into that. We'd love to have you, and I'm sure you would enjoy that if you like those old mini bikes. Ben also says, I think I read that one already. Jim Holbrook is in the house saying, Thetford Center, Vermont, loud and clear, regular viewer. Nice to see you, Jim. Ivan Mayu is here. It says loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario. Thank you for viewing tonight. We appreciate that. Joe Zenert is here, here from Wisconsin. Nice to see you, Joe. Benadim, pardon me, we're going to give a shout out to his YouTube channel here in just a moment. He says, loud and clear from Camden, New York, regular viewer. The Benadim YouTube channel, by the way, that's one of the new places this podcast is simulcasting out to. So we thank that channel. We're going to pop a graphic up on that here in just a little while. Keith Jash is here. He says, hello from Connecticut, regular viewer. Nice to see you. Dave Trim is here, regular viewer, loud and clear from Carthage, New York. Nice to see you. Our good friend and regular viewer, David from Alaska Railroad is here saying good evening, guests and crew. And Mike, appreciate that. Team Bewick is here from upstate New York. Nice to see you. Mad Dog is here. Randy from Wisconsin, regular viewer saying good evening. Nice to see you. Roger Rice is here from Pitcher, New York. Nice to see you. Jeff Wesner is here. He's going to be on the podcast in the very near future, and we're going to be giving a shout out to his channel here in a moment as well. He says, looking good, sounding great, Mike, and he's from Wisconsin. Appreciate that. Good friend John Sprenger Jr. is here watching from Eland, Wisconsin. Nice to see you, John. And, of course, our good friend Glenn Ford is here. Says, good evening from Vernon Center, New York. One more comment. We'll bring our friends on here and get things started. Anthony Nabozny is here. Says, first-time viewer, loud and clear from Brighton, Michigan. Well, thank you for joining us, Anthony. I hope you have a good time with us tonight, and looking forward to getting to know you a little better in the comment section. Let me bring our guests on here, and we will get this party started. These are familiar faces to you if you're a regular viewer of the podcast. We've got our guest Valdi Stefanson tonight from Minnesota, one of the top collectors in the hobby, and, of course, our co-host Rob Hilditch. How you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing good, Mike.
Good. Well, cool. Valdi, we're going to take a deep dive on your vintage snowmobile collection tonight. We've got some video clips that are going to kind of tell the story. But before we do that, do you want to give us maybe a little backstory on how you got into vintage snowmobiles and got into collecting them? And is this something you were doing from back in the day?
Oh, sure. I grew up in Canada. This would have been in the 60s. And I grew up on a farm north of Winnipeg, and there was a lot of winter there. And so we had snowmobiles the whole way through. And I never got into racing, but as a young adult, it was cars that I was interested in, muscle cars. Well, the price just went up and up and up. It just got crazy, and so I looked for something that was near and dear to my heart. Those snowmobiles were so darn inexpensive in those days, and you start collecting, and one turns into several.
Yes,
that's how the addictive nature of the hobby.
Absolutely. You can't stop at one. You can't stop at 2 or 3 or 4, as we'll soon see. But yeah, that's a perfect setup for our first video clip. Let me roll that here, and then we'll react to it on the other side. Yeah, here it is right here.
Well, after we finished talking about bullwhips, Valdi continued on the tour of his sled collection. Hope you enjoy this video. There's some really cool sleds in it.
Company, the Carpet Brothers up there in Evelyn, we're making these snowmobiles. God bless them. This is a powerhouse of a sled, and I wanted a blade. And I don't have a lot of yellow color in this collection of mine. And when I saw a yellow blade, I said, I want to try to find that. This was sourced in far north Saskatchewan, of all places, and it drives great. You see, the Fast Company. We're using Polaris components. The steering wheel, for example, is Polaris. The motor is. So you can see what they did. They took an 800 Polaris motor and hopped it up. 2 pipes. They put dual pipes on an 800 Liberty twin.
And put it in backwards.
Yeah, and put it in backwards. This is 2003. Think F7, think Redline. It's awkward because you're pulling the cord, crossways.
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing has a lot of compression. We actually checked the squish just to make sure that it wasn't, exotic, but it's just hard to turn over.
She's race gas only.
Yeah, I put it in my car garage to warm it up to start it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because at 0 degrees or colder, it's hard to turn this thing over.
Nice. Well, everybody's going to ask about the revolt behind you, so we better mention that, too.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about Redline next. This is 2003, same year as this. And sadly, the story is in Snowtech magazine about a year ago. I wrote an article. They sadly made only about 57 of these. And this is one of very few that were delivered complete. Okay, it is one of the very few that runs and drives, and this is unique in so much as it has a proprietary engine.
Wow,
that's their own engine.
Wow.
So they went this is an overreach from a technology standpoint. Not only did they have this exotic external Molly frame, and all of this stuff, but then they decided they had to have their own motor too. And it was just too complicated, too many things changing at one time. I've talked to a lot of test drivers, and they said, this thing had a lot of potential, but they just ran out of money.
Yeah.
I mean, the R&D costs and development, and it's just a sad story.
Wow.
So I'm so proud to have this. I actually sourced this guy in California. This sled came out of Redding, California. It was purchased in upstate New York. A guy from California comes in, says, I want it. He took it away. We never heard of it again. I found it by going to the California DMV, like their conservation, whatever.
Yeah.
DNR. And I tracked down the owner that way. So So these two make a more modern touch to this collection here.
Yeah, is it okay? Can I walk down the row and
Sure.
show people? So Valdi's got some just great stuff in here.
Yeah, so just, I'm trying to show the tin cab era.
Yeah.
And then it gets mixed up here. These things used to be in quite a nice order. This is one of those RXLs that is a clone. I mean, it's made out of a Trail Indy.
The Phil Little hood?
Yeah, this is Phil Little's setup here.
Okay.
And it's got a fan cool motor. Is that ever fun to take on any kind of show? You can move around. It's so fun and fast and easy and starts and
nice.
It's just pleasant.
How about that? That's a honker.
Yes. Now, what I'm trying to show here in preparation for our Triple Wars next year at Waconia is the last of an era, the last of the European motors. Now, here we have Hearst Honker,
right?
800. Here we have Sachs. This is a 650.
Okay.
And this is a Kohler 650.
Now the Kohler was Canadian, though, I thought.
Yeah, Kohler Canada. If you look up Kohler on the internet, you're going to find a bunch of four-stroke engines. But this is Kohler Canada. You make that distinction.
Yeah.
People say, which of these is the fastest? Clearly this one. In fact, this one I saw win in '73 the Canadian Power Toboggan Championship. Gilles Villeneuve put on a clinic.
You're kidding? This is the sled Jill drove?
No. This is not the sled.
Okay.
This is a tribute to that sled. And then he followed it up in 1974 by winning the World's Championship race in Eagle River with one of these triple alloy supers.
Yeah.
So this thing has won the Canadian and the American Championship 73, 74.
Wow.
So this is the Go Fast one.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy and proud to have this bucket list set here. In fact, shortly thereafter, of course, all these manufacturers went to their own proprietary motor. By then, everybody was into our motor. They quit buying the European stuff.
Yep.
And went to Japan and had their own motors of all kinds of, types.
Nice. How about that, my triple loving friends? Yeah, that's for you, Todd.
So before we go any further and react to this video clip, I missed something before we started. I wanted to give a shout out to the people who made this possible. That would be Nutter's Speed Shop. They've got a wonderful YouTube channel. Link to it in the description. Be sure to check that out. A lot of wonderful vintage snowmobile content. And this video footage that we've been looking at comes courtesy of them. But I wanted to get that out of the way before we react to this. Rob, reactions to what we've been looking at?
Those first two, any mileage on them? The red line?
Yeah, what was your question? I didn't hear.
Any mileage on them? Have you driven them?
Yeah, oh yes. You can, yes. Mostly, be honest with you, most of them it's on the trailer to the show and then back.
Yeah. Also, you never taken them trail riding. See how
well, I didn't say that. It's up and down the ditch, etc. They're too valuable to be beaten around and missing trees by inches.
Yeah,
they look really sharp. Yeah, and what's he talking about? A triple shootout next year.
Oh, this I want to back up and talk about my friend John Nutter. He's a close friend of mine, and he has this YouTube channel that's been very successful. You know that he's got 5,800 subscribers, and he's produced 255 videos to date. So he's very, very prolific. And what happened was that he had bought a Scorpion bullwhip, but it was in pieces. And he came over to my place back in 2022, that's 2 years ago, and said, let's look at this bullwhip. I want to see what I have and what is missing. And then just as an aside, he says, do you mind if I video, some of these other things that you have in your barn? So that was the nexus. That was the reason that John Nutter ended up in my pole barn. This video that you're looking at has been around for a couple of years, but it's been viewed 95,000 times. So that's the breadth and depth of Nutter Speed Shop as a YouTube channel.
That's impressive. Yeah.
When I was on here last, when I was on this podcast last, we talked about or showed videos of triples from the early 90s. You'll see them later. And people who watched the podcast said, hey, what else does Valdi have? Is there any way that we can show his collection. So I thought of this video, and thankfully John Nutter allowed us to use it tonight.
Definitely. And there's a link to his channel in the description. Here's kind of a quick banner showing his channel. If you like this kind of vintage stuff, there's tons of it on his channel. Be sure and patronize his channel. And if you meet up with him, tell him you saw him here on the podcast. And we've got comments coming in. Let's see where we are with comments. Oh, yes. Steve Woodward says, hello from Rochester, New York. Nice to see you. Robert Butt says, regular viewer from Chateauguay, Quebec. Very cool. Of course, our good friends and regular viewers, Stacy and Art Fosler, are in the house from Platkill, New York. Nice to see you. David from Alaska Railroad says, I'm one of Nutter's subscribers. Great channel. Outstanding. Well, that's cool. Very cool. And then Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers says, I've watched Valdi speak about his collection before, and I appreciate his passion, but his historical knowledge is equally impressive. Thank you for that compliment.
Nice.
And then Ivan Mayu says, 1974 was the first year for the Snow Pro sleds. It's amazing that Gilles Villeneuve, I believe he's talking about,
Yes,
was able to win the world championship on a non-Snow Pro 73 sled. Yes. Anyone want to weigh in on that? As far as Gilles Villeneuve and
it was amazing. When I saw him win in 73 in the Beaujeu races, the Canadian Power Toboggan Championship, that green bus showed up with Jacques and Gilles, and they put on a clinic. They won every heat race except the 340. Lofton was very good on his little Arctic Cat, but they won every other heat race and the final in one day, in one event. And we all left that stadium in shock. You were either a Polaris guy or an Arctic Cat guy or a Skidoo guy, and we all just said, "What just happened?" It was amazing race.
Yes, and all these decades later, it's still talked about. That's cool. Also, Reese Fleury is in the house saying, good evening, all. Very good to see you. Appreciate that. And before we move on to what's next, was there any other comments either from our viewers or from Rob and Valdi on what we've been looking at just now?
So what size is the motor that's in the red line?
Oh, it's an 800 twin,
800.
And
Well, the
a
pipes are so big on it.
proprietary engine. And so it's very unique in so many ways. Engineering wise, they didn't use any off the shelf parts. They went all out. And sadly, they were just undercapitalized. That company made 59 of those. The board of directors had an emergency meeting. The bean counter said we're bleeding red, and they changed the locks on the factory. The employees came, that was on a Saturday. The employees came to work on Monday to find the doors locked, the company in bankruptcy.
Oh. Now, they did ship some of them out, not made?
Yeah, well, about 57 were shipped, 59 including prototypes. That's the total count.
Oh, yeah.
The one that I have was delivered to Bob Weaver Motorsports, upstate New York.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. That's such a sad story that was just came to a halt the way it did. Yes. It would have been interesting to see, if they'd had the financing to keep going with that, to see where that would have gone.
Mm-hmm. And I'm having very good luck showing these. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think that 2003 is that old in our vintage hobby, but I take these two to shows, and that's where the attention is. It's amazing. The national show was in Duluth this year, and they got a lot of traffic, a lot of questions, a lot of interest. So even, as I said, I want us collectors to start moving forward in time and start collecting, machines of that era.
Yes, good point. And then we've got a couple of more comments that have come in. Ben Adim is here. He says the lineup of sleds is top notch, but he says he's also admiring the shop as well. Not only is the shop huge, but it looks incredibly clean and well organized. Absolutely. And Michael Gifford says, awesome sleds. David Trim says, what was the original price of that when new? I believe he's talking about the red line.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Remember, they went into bankruptcy as the sleds were delivered to the dealerships. I was on a list and I was going to get one. And I think it was like about $10,000, which is a huge price bump from the others on the market. Or was it 12,000? I remember it was thousands of dollars more than a top of the line from the other brands. Sure. And so they were a premium price. This was going to be the Ferrari of the snowmobile world.
Yes, I remember them saying that. Yes. Yeah, because I was reading Snowgoer and American Snowmobiler and all that in the early 2000s, and that was kind of the buzz in the magazine around that. Also, we've got a couple of other quick comments. Dirk Seams, our good friend, is in the house saying hello from Otter Tail Lake, Minnesota. Nice to see you. Ben also says Valdi makes a great point about needing to move the collector classes forward into the 2000s. Absolutely. There's a lot of interesting stuff in the 90s and 2000s, for sure. And then Jeff Wesner says, saw the sleds at the National Show. There's one at the Hall of Fame in St. Germain. Good to know. And also, I've got a link in the description to Jeff Wesner's Facebook page, Snow Tracks. There's a link to that in the description. Be sure to check that out. He does a wonderful Facebook page there on snowmobiles. Dave Trim says, huge price back then. Yes. And Mike Whiteside, our good friend, says, I'm late. My bad, but hi, guys. Nice to see you. Better late than never, Mike. Good to see you. Well, cool. So I'm going to remove this, and we're going to get into the second item here. Let me get to where I need to be. We're on item number 2, announcements and Amsoil. And Rob, if you're ready, we're going to put you full screen and give you a chance to talk to us about Amsoil. I think he's putting on his Amsoil jacket.
I'm ready. Ready.
There we go. He is ready. You're not kidding.
You get ready for brand new FRX Amsoil jacket, brand new hat, good for 40 below. 40 below Fahrenheit, same as 40 below Celsius. It gets cold. So Amsoil has a number of great products that you gotta be using. For the newer machines, the injector oil, Amsoil has Interceptor. Now for the older guys, that premix, Amsoil has 100-to-1, 8 ounces to 5 gallons of gas. We did a lot of testing with chainsaws and stuff like that. It gives you twice the protection than still oil does at 32-to-1. Amsoil's fiddle strength so much longer. If you want your equipment to last longer, it's a great way to do it. Run a synthetic oil. And if you're getting your snowmobile ready this year, don't forget to change the chain case oil. A lot of people forget about that. But there's a lot of metal filings and stuff like that in the chain cases. It takes a lot of beating. So by putting clean oil in it every year, gets the condensation out, makes your equipment run longer. And if you've got nothing to do this weekend, I'm at the International Snowmobile Show in Toronto. Stop in to see me. We got a 10x40 booth set up. Come by and say hi. Hey, and your last guy that left a comment, Mike Gifford, ask him to come on the show. He's been racing snowmobiles for 50 years, oval racing, and now he's doing the vintage. Be nice to have him come on to show us what he has for old collection still. That's the one.
Yeah, Michael, we would love to have you on here sometime as our guest.
And he's raced against the Villeneuves. Wow,
that's amazing. Yeah, we would love to hear some of those stories.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he has other stories as well. Good call on that.
Yep.
Also, here we go.
Amsoil has a promotion. Anybody orders $100 worth of Amsoil, they'll ship it to you free. But if you order $100 worth, they're going to give you this free lamp to help work on your machines. Be pretty handy if you're out in the trails and you got to check something on the snow machine. That'd be nice to have. I've never bought one yet, but the next time on the show, I'm going to have one.
Definitely. And if you use the link in the description with my referral number, the commissions generated go to support this podcast. And I'm signed up as a dealer under Rob. So when you order through me, Rob and I both benefit. And that's how we pay the bills here at this podcast, is by selling Amsoil. We thank the people who have been buying Amsoil with my referral number. And if you're thinking about Amsoil, we thank you in advance for using my referral number. That's greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
But
yeah. For more information, how to get a better discount on Amsoil, click on the Mike's link and we'll send you the catalog.
Yes, free catalog. And also the preferred customer program. Just send me a message and ask me about that. It's the best possible value when you're buying Amsoil.
Yeah.
No, as part of, go ahead.
Maybe Mike could tell us who he's wrenching for this year too.
Wait, say again?
Maybe Mike could tell us who he's wrenching for this year too.
Yes. We would love to hear all about that for sure. For sure. Now, a couple of other quick announcements. I wanted to give a shout out to our good friends at the Benedim YouTube channel. If you like this vintage snowmobile content, they do a wonderful channel there with all sorts of vintage snowmobile content. And the Benedim YouTube channel is one of the places where this podcast simulcasts. So we thank them for that collaboration opportunity. It's been a really nice collaboration. And of course, we want to give a shout out one more time to our friends at Nutter's Speed Shop, who have made this footage available to us. We're going to take a look at some more of that here. Let me cue up the next clip, and we'll take a look at that, and we'll react on the other side of it. Here we go.
We got a Ski Bee Scout. Is that a Canadian?
Yeah, that's out of Saskatchewan.
Oh, Ingham Industries.
Yeah.
Wanted to show.
Flanagan, Saskatchewan.
I got a buddy who's got that last name, and I wanted to.
Okay.
I'll make sure he sees
check out
this.
the front end of this thing. That is so butt ugly. It's not even funny.
That is not what you call aerodynamic.
And here's our fuel tank.
We got a little one-longer in there.
Yeah, then there's a Sax motor.
Little Sax.
It's a mid-engine machine.
Yeah. We got a Rolleiflex. We know this is Canadian.
Saskatchewan wonder. Rolleiflex, first year, and this thing was modified for racing.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a hooker tune pipe.
Oh boy!
69. It had a tune pipe. Well, the guy put a tune pipe on it.
Look at the twin carb setup on there. We've seen those once in a while. I better get a view of this pipe. Look at that. Nice. Hearth motor too. Sweet.
Yeah, 300 Earth with 2 carbs.
The 2
I'll
carbs.
be very honest with you. I blocked the second carb off. I could not throw this thing down without following the plug,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I literally, I put a piece of cardboard for the air, and I squeezed I put a bolt in where the fuel is. There's only one carb working on this.
Yeah.
But it sounds and runs good.
Well, we got a nice Hearth. Looks like a big block.
Before Hearth in this Grand Prix. Holy cow! This machine is half motor.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Oh, those were great motors at the time
They
too.
are good.
Yeah.
Remember, there used to be that run, Center City.
Yeah, the Iron Dog. They still do that.
And I took the secondary clutch right out of this thing. The rivets broke.
Oh, jeez.
I was hitting it hard. And
Wow.
It didn't go.
Well, here, people got to see this oddity. This is the VIP Panther.
Oh, yes. I love to show people Cat-O-Matic.
That is a hydraulic drive with a torque converter in it.
And you recall that Yamaha was doing the 73, 74. This is
Yeah.
a 74 one-year wonder out of Arctic.
Yep.
I think it just was too complicated, too heavy.
Yeah, there were some problems with seals and durability.
Correct. What you're
Yeah.
going to notice is a bunch of cardboard under there because I
Yeah.
put this thing on the snow. I did a video the other day, and no kidding, you gotta put cardboard underneath it because
Yeah.
you see, because the motor is vibrating, and that seal
Yes.
just can't
Just
take
sitting
it.
there.
It can't
Yep.
take it.
My good friend Jerry, he's a machinist and he's meticulous. He went through one of these,
Yes.
and he got through about 2 rides and was frustrated with it because he couldn't keep it sealed.
Yeah.
I mean, even the best, they're just difficult.
So anyway, on the internet, I found a seal.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, a guy was selling one.
Wow.
I'm keeping this close to my heart.
No kidding. Is it a custom size or what?
Yeah, well, whatever. It's the correct part.
It's the correct part.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
And then here's what I started the hobby with was these Polaris motors sticking out, the
Yep.
70 and 70 and 71. So this is Papa Bear,
Yeah.
Mama Bear, and Baby Bear, the aluminum Playmate. This thing is all aluminum, including
Oh,
the skis.
aluminum Playmate.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, who signed the hood there?
This is the racer, the guy from Calgary, Alberta. I drove all the way to Calgary to get his signature.
No
Sonberg by
kidding.
name.
No
Yeah, I
kidding.
sent him an email because I found his name in race, the results,
Yeah.
and looked him up in the phone book in Calgary, and he answered. I said, "Did you race?" He says, "Yeah, I was the Western Canadian race manager for Polaris."
Oh, wow.
I said, "I'll see you soon."
Nice. Nice. Yeah, last but not least, we got the big old boat.
Yeah.
The Skeeter. Those are fun sleds, though.
Well, it's the one that has towed me home. I'll bring doing a two-place trailer with this one and then into these others, and I'll sadly admit that I have used this one to haul the dead one back.
I've had the Johnson version of this sled twice, and
This thing is full featured. Like
they're just fun.
Headlight and everything from a neutral, cutout to
Cigarette lighter.
yeah, down to a cigarette lighter.
and it doesn't end there. We got a snow Gia hiding back in the corner. Snow Gia, okay. I stand corrected. All right.
Well, cool. Yeah, that's amazing stuff there. Reactions to that, Rob?
No Kia. Never heard of that. Where did it come from?
Snow Gias were made in Italy, believe it or not. And the company was broke by the time the ship brought the Snow Gias into the New York harbor. They were selling them cheap on the harbor.
Oh no.
What was in it
Wow.
from?
Well, they had, like I said, it was a copycat of a 1966 Polaris, reverse engineered, and they had a plastic grill. Notice there's no front grill on that snowmobile because it was cheap plastic and it didn't stand the cold weather.
Wow. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear the story behind it too. The things that might have been,
Sure.
And I like these Polarises. And
So you'll see a lot of Western Canadian sleds, and that's because, I'm a dual citizen. I travel back and forth quite a bit, and I had some connections in the prairie provinces. And so I end up with Snow Scoot and Ski Bee and some of these Western Canadian built brands.
that's cool. Yeah, I especially like this one here. That's unique. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, that's so ugly, it's cute.
Exactly.
And I'd never seen the automatic Arctic Cat before.
Oh, that VIP, yes. Let me go back to that.
Are they
right
very
there.
common at the shows?
Yeah,
I
it
don't- I
was
think
very
it-
linear in its drive, but it just didn't perform well. It didn't have that fun factor. It was like an electric vehicle or something, where it just buzzed up and it just didn't have much pizzazz. Very expensive. It was also in 1974 an attempt to Arctic Cat. They made it chocolate brown, kind of a dark chocolate color. So it was too expensive. It was the most expensive in their line. It had that unusual, torque converter transmission, and it was the wrong color. So it was a 1-year wonder for Arctic Cat.
1 year. Wow. Yeah, we do have some comments that are coming in. Let's see what we've got here. Alan Gove is here. He says, good evening. Nice to see you. I'd like to have you on the podcast sometime this season. Also, Reese Fleury is saying, Valdi, do you ever ride that red line?
The answer is yes. I'm going to do a better video of it, but it's fast.
Wow.
It's fun.
Yeah, even if it's just yard riding, we'd love to see some.
Yeah,
drive-bys
that's what I
on
mean.
that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, some drive-bys. Love to see some drive-bys on that. And Mike Whiteside says, wow, incredible collection, sweet. And then, oh, here we go. Mike, David from Alaska Railroad says, I owned an Arctic Cat VIP. He traded it for a 76 Polaris TX. In all honesty, he says he wished he still had the TX. Those were nice. We had one of those. Oh, and Reese Fleury says, can't wait for that yard riding video on the red line.
Okay. Well, let's hope for snow.
Yes, yes.
I'm ready.
Now, did we have any more on this video clip before we move on to the next one? All right, so I'm going to take this one down, and I'm going to switch screens here. We'll pull up the next video, just the continuation of this tour we've been looking at. Yeah, right here. Let's take a look.
So what is this blue sled?
Well, this is very unique. Nobody's ever seen a polar bear. These were made in Wallingford, Connecticut. Wallingford, Connecticut.
No kidding.
This guy was an aviation, he had a lot of military and contracts with the federal government.
Okay.
And he just wanted something to keep his guys busy. So this is a very unique, very rare sled.
That's cool.
Nobody, like I said, nobody sort of heard of this guy.
Yeah.
And I got the car being fixed, the crazy wall broke.
Oh,
but
geez,
here's the configuration here.
Huh.
And,
Well, pretty standard.
yeah, nothing spectacular about the pieces and parts that they put together. It's all pretty stock stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, near and dear to my heart, one of my all-time favorites.
yes, okay. So this is what I'm very proud of. This is the first of the indies, independent front suspension.
Is this a low serial number version, or is it?
I'd have to check.
Okay.
But this was done by AJ Emmerich. Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that motor.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that one's actually got the O2 cast in instead of some of them, was like 01 ground off and stamped in O2, some of the earlier ones.
All right.
But I think that was 78.
All right. So anyway, Kathy Emmerich told me that she was polishing those bolts watching TV.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh my God.
This
is
beautiful.
This is a fun sled. I took it to ride with a champs, and it handles so good. I mean, it just, Polaris made hay when they came up with this Indy.
Well, you know what my main rider is now?
Yes.
Yeah, 83 cross country
Yeah,
with the
cross
404. Oh boy. And they ride great. Wow, they handle good.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
look
let
at
me show you this guy.
a rustler?
Hold on. This is the prototype.
What?
Now look at the skis are chromed.
Okay.
The color is wrong. It's yellow. It's white. The others were yellow.
Yeah.
And they even chromed the cover panel.
Like a marketing machine.
Yeah.
Like-
This was the prototype that Fox used to sell this. He was creating dealers. Okay. This was the one that was on the carousel in Minneapolis during the summer show, the Snowmobile Dealers Show.
It really was the marketing
Oh, yeah.
machine.
Oh yeah, this thing has never been started.
Wow.
Never.
What?
The production models had a gas tank there in front.
Oh, wow.
Look, this has never been run.
Oh, wow.
This thing was retired to his office, and then it found its way into northern Wisconsin and here. This thing has never been started.
Wow.
Yep.
And then behind you, we have the famous comet catastrophe.
Yeah, if you're into the antique club, this is the signature. This is our logo sled.
Yeah, everybody asks about the comet catastrophe. You want to give your take on that?
Well, it was just...
Why?
Skidoo had a front end machine. Okay, Polaris is running all rear engine machines in the 63, era.
Yeah.
And there's images of them going out west in the spring, and they had a Skidoo as comparison. And this was their first attempt at a front end machine. And boy, it's the drivetrain. I mean, this thing just would get stuck anytime.
Was it the track or?
Yeah, clutching the track.
The clutching and the track were both bad.
It's so intricate.
Oh yeah.
It's just anyway.
Our friend has one hanging up in the ceiling of his pole barn, and you can walk under and look at the track, and it's not good.
So I start this thing and just let it idle all afternoon at some shows.
Sure.
I love to see that little flicker on the headlight.
Oh, 8-horse Kohler. Yeah. Pre 2-stroke era.
Yeah. So
Let's see what else. We got an Alouette. We got a butterscotch boa. Those are awesome. Cool 70s sleds. 77. Now, what's the last year of production on boa?
I think this is last year.
77. Okay.
Yeah, 77.
And they're both Canadian sleds again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some amazing stuff right there. And reactions to that?
Okay, the Fox Track. Who owned Fox Track?
Is it the fellow's name was Fox? It's not Terry. I'm drawing a blank here, but Fox wanted to get into snowmobile manufacture, and he had little money, so he decided to go with style. So this crazy hustler rustler thing with this bulbous front and back end, it was very unique. I'll give you that. He put a young lady in the 1968 I-500 race from Minneapolis to St. Paul, and she finished in it. So that was their advertising campaign. If it can stand 500 miles of racing. And remember that he had started with Snow Pony
Remember the Snow Pony brand? He sold that. He was big at developing these brands, but when it came to manufacturing them, he thought that was boring. So he produced Snow Pony, sold it off quickly, and then produced Hustler Rustler, and then that got sold to a company in Canada, Saint Marie, Ontario, or something of this nature. So you can love or hate that style, but that was his unique little niche in the snowmobile marketplace.
It's true. It doesn't look like anything else. Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
Machine that's never been run. It's just that's their demo.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then I had a question about that Boa ski. It sounds like that was the last year of the production for that. Let me find it. I also remember a Boa ski, a very similar styling, but with more colors on it.
Yes.
Was that a different year?
Mike. I'll say this. Those are the same years. This
Same
one
year.
we call butterscotch, but they also made a black one, and those 3 vertical slots were different colored. Those are gorgeous looking sleds. Same year. Their last year, as a matter of fact.
Wow. Yeah, those are really nice looking sleds, I always thought. And it comes off nice in the butterscotch as well. And then this one here, I believe Paul Crane has one, and I've got an interview with him talking about the very thing you were talking about. And I'll try to find that when we're playing the next video so I can play it afterward. If I can find that, I'll try to play that so you can kind of hear some more on that sled. But we do have comments that have come in. Find my spot here. Oh, here we go. Jane Murray says, nice sleds. This is from Ken and Jana in upstate New York. Very cool. Oh, yes. I had lunch with them, with Stacy and Art Fosler. Let me see. Here we go. The couple in the back. We had lunch with them a few weeks ago with Stacy and Art Fosler, who are regular viewers of the podcast. I'm really excited that they're on here tonight. This is wonderful. Well, cool. Hello to Ken and Yana. Okay, so Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers is here. He says, here, think snow early and often. Yes, that's the secret, I think. Josh Leverker says, good evening, loud and clear from Tug Hill, New York. Nice to see you, Josh. Pardon me, I'm losing my voice because I've got a cold. But Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers says that Hustler looks like a very interesting sled, for sure. And Jeff Wesner, who's going to be on here sometime in the next few weeks, he says, what a great history in that pole barn. I've never seen these unique sleds. Great job. Very cool. Rodney Dragon says, Fred Fox. So he must be talking about.
Yeah, thank you, Rodney. That was the developer of these the Hustler Rustler as well as the Snow Pony.
Nice. And then Benadim says, love the style of that Boa ski. The design was ahead of its time, for sure. And then David from Alaska Railroad says, I'm sure amazed by Valdi's knowledge of these sleds, a pure encyclopedia of old snowmobiles. Absolutely. Cool deal. Getting some good compliments tonight, Valdi.
Bring them on.
That's right. Well, you've earned it. Let's see. Oh, and Stacy and Art Fosler say, really nice collection. Very cool. All right, so unless there's any more on this clip, I've got another clip to run, and while that's playing, I'm going to see if I can locate the clip of Paul Crane's sled, like this one we're looking at here, and hear his take on it. So let me remove this, and I apologize for the coughing and everything. I'm struggling with a hell of a cold, but let me queue up the next video clip, and I'll go hunting for that video, and maybe we'll have a look at that on the other side. Here it comes.
And then here's a bevy of first-year triples. These are both 92 and 93. So here we have Thundercat.
Nice.
That's 900 cc's from the get-go.
Yep.
The Mach Z, 780 cc's.
Yep.
Storm was 750 for 1 year, and then next year it turned to 800. Same here. This VMAX 4 in 92 was a 750 the next year. They went to 800.
Okay.
Because, of course, Arctic Cat trumped everybody with that 900 in there.
Yeah.
So these are largely, original first-year triples.
There you go, my triple oven friends. Okay, Todd, I did it again.
Here's the pretty one. Here's the one that I'm most proud of.
Oh, I love those storms.
Look at the pipes. Can you imagine the engineer was told, "Hey, listen, you start with this chassis. Here's the motor. Now fit 3 pipes under the hood."
Yeah.
And this is the result.
This chassis we designed for a 340 twin.
Yeah.
We'd like you to stuff a 750 triple with 3 pipes under there.
No kidding. And so heavy too.
Yeah.
You know, if you bought this sled, the first thing you did was read the first magazine, and the aftermarket was selling lighter stuff and better pipes, you know, so everybody jettisoned this original stuff. The hard part about all 4 of those was to get original pipes, to get one that was original. And that wasn't easy, to be honest with you. These were sourced all over North America to get those ones that were not modified.
Do you know what we call these Case Reed triple Polaris's? Extra heavy triple.
Oh.
We got used to.
How dare they call them extra light?
Well, no, we got used to the monoblocks. They're nothing, and then we're trying lifting Storms and Ultras. Like, oh, that's a 2-man lift. If you're over 50, anyways. Oh, the lovely Scorpion. Oh, I do love these. These are nice sleds. That is a beautiful example, Valdi. Cuyuna, Minnesota made.
Yes, sure.
Nice. Cool. Oh, I didn't even get the wild one or the Hiawatha.
Yeah.
How about that? The wild one?
Wild one, I think it's known because of its large size hood. I mean, it's physically quite wide and large.
That's a wide ski
And I
stance.
just like the coloration, you know, with this orange and white. The windshield is off. We're going to try to make a mold for that windshield.
Sure. Is that another one of your Canadian sleds?
Oh yeah, sure. With,
Okay.
You know, Regina.
How about this Hiawatha?
Well, this Hiawatha is kind of an odd one because many of you might recognize the Larson. This was my Larson.
Okay.
And what, of course, I want is the Canadian version of it.
Okay.
And they flipped that in Canada. This is called a Hiawatha Hurricane X17. Marshall Wells was a you know, like a hardware store. And they private labeled this Hiawatha Hurricane X17, which is identical to this Larson except different colors. Notice the blue chassis instead of white.
Did Polaris make it?
Wouldn't that be cool to have one that has this different coloration?
So did Polaris make this for Larson? It looks like Polaris skis.
This was made in Beaujeu with just a hodgepodge of parts.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
Beaujeu were at the Polaris,
Yeah,
Canadian
it was where
Polaris
Polaris
plant.
was putting these together, right?
Okay.
Right.
Good to
So
know.
that was their specialty, was the private label for Canadian outlets.
Neat.
These American brands with different, you know, different names, different coloration.
Yeah. Cool. Good stuff. Snow Scoot. Is that Canadian too?
Now here's
Oh,
another
Calgary.
made in Calgary, Alberta. Very few people know that they made these things for 3 years, 65, 6, and 7. And again, lovely treatment. This reminds me of a 1950-51 Studebaker car. Remember they had that?
Oh, yeah.
So just another little piece of the Canadian history here.
Nice.
First year Yamaha.
Oh, 68. Sweet.
Yeah, 68.
In the what?
And it's about the Yamahas that I bought new. You know, I was a Yamaha guy until they went to 4-stroke, and then I said goodbye.
Yeah. Now, what's this creation on the end?
This is actually a Larson.
Oh, it is.
Larson. And made in Little Falls, and their catalog showed that one. And
Larson Boat Company.
yeah. So I found this on eBay, and it came out of all places. Massachusetts. Yeah. I paid more for shipping it here than I did for the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually is like a crawler tractor. There's no skis on this bad boy. Three speeds forward and one reverse. Okay, and a ton of chains that go back and forth. Because when you pull on this lever, of course, it stops that track, and you trundle around. It's like a crawler tractor, or like a caterpillar. And so anyway, we got to get this guy going.
I love it. Well, I think I'm still signed up to help you with the motor.
mount. That's
So-
one of those things.
This is a project. You'll never restore anything like this, but it would be fun to go to a show and trundle around. And say, this is a Larson, believe it or not.
So if you want to see me helping Valdi with the motor mount,
Next project.
you gotta pipe in, and that will get to that at some point.
Okay, so I think there's about 3 of these, and Minnesota DNR got conned into buying a few of these.
Wow.
And then they gradually sold. Most of them have been outfitted for hauling logs or something at some lodge. Again, how this thing ended up on the East Coast, I will never know.
Cool.
Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. It's always great to hear these backstories.
Did Larson only make it the 1 year, that one model?
Yeah, that was very unique, very unique. It was in the catalog, so you look. I found it on eBay at midnight one evening out east, and I just bought it.
Wow. That's amazing.
How long have you owned that for?
Oh, probably about 7 years. You heard me. John and I are going to get that thing running. It has a big 372 JLO engine that's mounted backwards. And we'll get that thing going. I'll trundle along and make some education, at these shows.
That's
You have a
amazing.
great collection there.
Yes, for sure. And was there anything else we wanted to take a look at while I'm scrolling through here?
No, that's sort of a circle tour around my barn.
Yeah. Any other
So a
questions?
lot of
Rob?
oddball stuff, a lot of Canadian, flavor to this, and it's been a fun time.
Yes.
If you look
Very
on the
cool.
background, he's got a lot of stuff on the shelf still.
Yes.
Spare motors, spare clutches.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff in there for sure. And we want to be sure and thank Nutter's Speed Shop. They're the ones that do the YouTube channel where this video comes from. This comes courtesy of the Nutter's Speed Shop YouTube channel. There's a link to that channel in the description. I highly encourage you to go over there and check that channel out. They do some excellent content on vintage snowmobiles, as do our friends at the Benedim YouTube channel. Trying to get that graphic up. That's the Benedim YouTube channel. Is one of the places where this podcast simulcasts out to. So we encourage you to check out that channel as well. Link in the description. Also, there's a link in the description to Valdi's YouTube channel. He does a wonderful YouTube channel, and I encourage you to click that link and check that as well. There's a lot of cool stuff to click on in the description here. Also, we've got comments that have come in. Trying to find my place here. Okay, Stacy and Art Fosler say, how many sleds do you own in total, Valdi?
At its peak, about 65. And I didn't want to start layering in this big pole barn, so I started selling. I'm collecting newer stuff now. I'm collecting stuff from the late 90s, early 2000s, tribute sleds. I just finished a Blair Morgan tributed Arctic Cat, to use an example. So,
great idea.
So I'm moving forward in physical time. Because that's a new audience for us us old snowmobile collectors.
Yes, it's true. There'll be more and more interest in those too as the years go by, for sure. And here's a nice compliment for you, Valdi. Mike Whiteside says Valdi is a sled god, and can't really dispute that for sure. Absolutely. Steve Woodward says incredible collection. Roger Rice says, Mike, can we get a shout out for the vintage show this Saturday, the 26th, at the Living History Museum in Cortland, New York? He said, great show and great folks. Great idea. Yes. Pardon me while I cough here. I'm going to leave this comment up on the screen. So if anyone is in upstate New York, make a note of this and please patronize that show. And if you go over there, tell them that you heard about it on the podcast. And that's one of the things I like to do with this podcast is get the word out about events and happenings in the vintage snowmobile hobby. So yes, thank you for sharing that, Roger. Steve Woodward says, Valdi, how long have you been collecting?
Oh, I would probably say going on 30 years.
Wow. Wonderful. And then Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers says, great collection. Appreciate you sharing this with us, Valdi. Yes. Mad Dog says, great tour. You have some nice stuff in there. Thank you for sharing. And let's see, Glenn Forrest says, great collection. Love the backstories on the sleds. And then Jacoby Stevens says, good to go. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's what he's saying there. I think that's what's happening there, but I'm not positive. But while we were playing this clip, I was looking for that interview I was telling you about with Paul Crane, and I found some video clips from that day, and I didn't label them very well. This is the only clip kind of process of elimination that it could possibly be. So I'm going to play this clip. It's an interview about something. Let's take a look here. Oh yes, here it is. Let's take a look, see if this is it. It's taking a moment to load. This may be random footage. I don't know. And it's choking too, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not that clip, and I apologize for that. I guess I can't find that clip, but what I'll do is try to locate it when I have more time and play it on a future episode, because that was a pretty cool clip. What I do have...
mention, if somebody's interested in those triples, the first year 92 to 93s, remember we did a show, I think it was a couple of years ago, that was dedicated to those four snowmobiles, a lot of around the yard racing. So I do believe that they're archived, and would they be available?
Yes, absolutely. If you scroll through on our YouTube channel or the Facebook group page, you scroll down far enough and you'll see the graphic there for the triples. And that was a great episode. I think that might have been last season. We had a lot of fun with that. Mm-hmm. And I do have, in the few minutes we have left, I do have another clip I wanted to play tonight in case we were short on time. This is one of my favorite video clips. This was at the Washington, Vermont Vintage Snowmobile show. And the reason it's one of my favorites is because I was hanging out with I think 3 or 4 generations of a family that had some cats from back in the day. Pardon me, I've got a hell of a cold. But as we got talking, the whole conversation just took on a life of its own, and they started telling stories and hamming it up and just having a great time, and the thing just took on a life of its own. And because of that, it's one of my favorite clips. So I'm going to cue that up here, and we'll play that, and we'll have a good laugh over this. This is fun.
Hello, my name is Jack, and this is my father's sled. He bought it brand new in '78 and paid $1,500 for it. It was the latest at the time. We used it, we're still using it today. So it was a real trendsetter, kind of, because we had all old junk before that, sure. 60s and stuff, and of course it really it kept everything going, until today. It's been a good sled. Still runs great. Grandkids got it.
All right, so the whole several generations are enjoying this sled.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yep. Oh, good. He shut his sled off. Good. We'll get this angle from it. We get the whole family photo here. Nice. Now, do you guys want to gather behind him so you get the whole family?
Whole crew behind the one sled that started
definitely
my collection.
Nice. So I've got a nice close up, and then I want to get it back up so I can get the 3 sleds. Get the whole family experience with the 3 sleds. There we go. And that's rolling his video, but I'll make some stills out of that and send them to you.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Anyone else want to make some comments? Or
yeah.
Arctic Cat's the way to go. If you own any other snowmobile, you need to shift gears and take up paintball or something.
Yeah, horseback riding.
Horseback riding, yeah.
No, that right there, that 79 Panther,
Yeah.
I picked that up from my coworker who ran it for years. It was sitting on a trailer that I got with it, that the floor was so rotten that I fell through it. And the motor was just about seized. I was lucky enough to put marble mystery oil, roll it over, and put fuel in it, fired up. I have not touched the carburetor or anything. I put new fuel lines in it, brand new gas, and it runs great. And one of the stories that my coworker was telling me about that sled is that when he was a kid running it around, him and his brother would stack up cinder blocks and put plywood on top of it and jump a 2-lane road with that sled.
With this very sled.
And that's the third hood that's been on that sled. It's been ran hard, and hopefully this spring, Suicide 6 with their hill climbing vintage snowmobile show, that's going to be on the hill climb comp.
Nice.
Maybe the race too, depending if they do it.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
If that sled could talk, huh?
Oh, it's had a long life.
Nice. Well, at least you're here to talk about it. You know?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Go ahead.
And then this 77 that I have, it was my Uncle Steve's. I don't know the story behind that, but he moved out of state, far away, and so it was given to my uncle for storage. And then 2 weeks before the show, I actually got it running, had to pull the motor out, clean up the stator, put it all back together, and rewire the motor. And it's a great running machine. Haven't done anything with the carburetor either. Just sat before ethanol fuel.
Wow.
It's the main thing.
Wonderful.
Great Arctic Cat sleds.
Absolutely. That is awesome. Any other thoughts before we finish?
Oh, good. Vintage Arctic Cats.
They are the best. My favorite anyway. Good deal. Well, thank you guys.
Right. You have so much fun with the old.
It's true. Relive the past. It's a time capsule. Yeah, that's sweet. Well, there you go. Good times at the Washington Snowmobile Show, Washington, Vermont. By the way, that show's first Saturday in January every year, in case you're interested in Central Vermont. Reactions or thoughts to that?
You couldn't pay those people to drive a different brand.
It's true.
Yeah. Arctic Cat fans were loyal.
Yes.
I would argue that Arctic Cat has the most loyal, fan base or history and dedication.
I agree, and there's definitely my favorite, and I think of all the brands, there was so much excitement around all the brands, but Arctic Cat had really something special going as far as the excitement around the brand back in the day, the early 70s. There was just something really special about that. All the clothing and the swag that they had, and the hats and mugs and cufflinks, and you get just about anything with an Arctic Cat logo on it, and it just created so much excitement around it.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see 3 generations of the family there with so much passion for these sleds and stories and history. And they were hamming it up and being funny and stuff. Just really cool. And I've got a few more comments that have come in. Here we go. Rich Shad says, just getting home from work. We'll have to watch the replay. Please do. Nice to see you, Rich, by the way. Benadim says, for those who can't make the Cortland show, I will be there and we'll post a walk around video next week. Thank you for that. And by the way, that's from the Benadim YouTube channel. There's a link to that in the description. That's one of the places where this podcast goes out to, and we thank him for that collaboration. David from Alaska Railroad says, great show. Thank you to Mike, Valdi, and Rob. Nice to see you. Our good friend John Springer Jr., who'll be on here very soon as our guest and sometime in the coming weeks. He says the 90s had some incredible sleds. The performance and handling was awesome. Love working on them. Enjoy riding them. Great speed and performance. And John is a big Ski-Doo guy. Let's see. Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers says, great show tonight, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Appreciate that. By the way, next week I'm doing a replay. We're going to be doing something for Halloween. Halloween is on Thursday night next week. So we do have plans, but I'm going to pick out a good replay for you. And we'll be going live again the next week. After that, Mike Whiteside says, incredible show tonight. Thank you. Appreciate you being on here. And at the end of every podcast, I always say, as always, the last word goes to Amsoil, but for some reason, I don't have access to that video clip tonight. But before we do close, I'll play another clip. But before we do close, I wanted to get closing comments from Valdi and Rob.
Well, I like Baldy's collection. That's quite a collection. And I've never seen that many machines in that great a shape. You've been working on it for a while, eh?
I had to move out into the country. And when I was buying a new house, the two criteria was I had to be on a paved road and had to have a big barn.
Nice. Well, that paid off for sure.
That's a great collection, and glad you got to share it with us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And it was also great to meet you in person a couple of years ago out in Old Forge at the National Show. Definitely. Hopefully we'll meet again in person again sometime. But what I've got for a closing video, since I don't have access to that Amsoil video, my good friend who I believe is watching tonight, he's got a snowmobile trailer for sale, and I've got a video clip of that. So I'm going to play that, and we'll call it a night. But thank you so much to Valdi and Rob for being on, and for all our viewers. Oh, we've got a couple quick comments that have come in. Benadim says, great collection. Thank you for sharing. I've never seen so many sleds. Never heard about them all in one place. Pardon me. Keith Jash says, thank you for an awesome show. Also, thank you for sharing your collection. Very cool. Yeah, and Valdi got some well-earned compliments tonight. We love to see that. Well, cool. So as always, instead of going to our friends at Amsoil, we're going to take a look at my friend Jeff's snowmobile trailer that's for sale. And we'll catch you guys all in 2 weeks. But we got a replay next week, so there'll be something in this time slot. Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good night.